You're in a relationship, but you feel that something is off. Your instinct tells you something is strange. She is very reserved when you ask questions about her past or casually mention other men's names in a normal conversation. If you're looking for a trustworthy relationship, you might be falling into a trap, but I will help you avoid that today. If you want to know if she has had multiple sexual partners, just look for some signs. These 10 signs will give you direct clues about how she lived her past. Remember, it's not about judging, but finding the right partner who won't play with your feelings and will commit to a long-term relationship. So stay with us until the end of the video and find out if it's worth continuing a relationship with a woman or if you should simply cut ties as soon as possible. Number 1. She feels very comfortable with physical intimacy. Your first intimate moment with her was concerning rather than amazing. Yes, you expected it to be amazing, but it ended up being unexpectedly intense. She might feel very at ease and bold with physical intimacy, which could indicate she has had many previous experiences. If you're confused, let me explain. Instead of you taking the first step, if she initiates like a pro, it could be a sign she has experience. She doesn't shy away from hugs and kisses, but is open to more advanced or even strange moves, accepting everything you propose. If your instinct tells you she has a lot of experience with physical intimacy, it could be a sign you shouldn't ignore. However, you shouldn't jump to conclusions. She might naturally be more expressive and talented in bed, so you should also pay attention to other signs to ensure she is the right partner for you. Number 2. She avoids emotional closeness. Sometimes, a man, no matter how strong, feels emotionally vulnerable and will seek his partner to fill that void. A spiritual connection and emotional support are important in a relationship as they help couples get through tough times together. But what if your partner doesn't respond to your need for an emotional connection? A woman who has had multiple sexual partners usually exhibits this behavior and avoids emotional closeness. How do you know if she is really avoiding emotional connection? If you try to have a deep conversation and she seems to prefer light chats, quickly changes the subject, or avoids talking about feelings, she might be avoiding emotional intimacy. If you feel that your efforts are in vain, it might be time to stop trying. However, it could also be a sign that she is more reserved or has been emotionally hurt before. Maybe you should give her a bit more time before making a decision. Number 3. She tells vague or inconsistent stories. An important sign that she might have had multiple sexual partners in the past. Inconsistencies in her stories. After months together, if you still can't say for sure that she has clearly shared her past with you, and the things she shares are vague or inconsistent, it could be a sign. For example, she might tell you one story one day and a different one the next. These inconsistencies can include mentioning names of more than one guy, talking about a long-term ex, and then saying she never had a serious relationship or describing a hobby shared with a previous partner that doesn't match her current interests. It's important to remember that not everyone likes to relive old relationships. Some people might prefer to focus on the present with you. However, if her vagueness or inconsistencies make you feel insecure or suspicious, it's worth exploring gently. What can you do in this situation? Have a serious conversation with her about this topic and ask her to clarify her past. If she is genuinely interested in a relationship, her reaction will be more satisfying than her words. If she opens up honestly and fills in the gaps with warmth and clarity, that's a great sign. But if she continues presenting an inconsistent story, it might indicate you should part ways with her before she plays with you. Remember, you should never rush into making this kind of decision. Relationships require a combination of time and open communication. Give enough time and see if her story seems to become more nebulous over time, or if she starts sharing her past more clearly after building trust in you. Number 4. She frequently changes plans at the last minute. Has she canceled plans at the last moment more often? These fluctuations can be more frustrating than the stock market. Have you ever wondered why this keeps happening? It's understandable if plans are canceled for obvious reasons once or twice, but if this happens repeatedly, there's definitely something wrong. Also, note that she always provides vague reasons for these cancellations. She might say, a last-minute meeting came up, but surprise meetings don't happen that often. Or she might mention a friend coming to town, but is very careful not to reveal the identity of this friend. You shouldn't let her play with you like this. Clearly, she is prioritizing something over the relationship with you, and that's a sign that cannot be ignored. It's important to remember that we all have busy lives, and things can come up unexpectedly. Maybe she has a demanding job with unpredictable schedules, or a close friend going through a tough time who needs her support. However, if these last-minute cancellations are becoming a habit and you feel excluded or unimportant, it's worth having a conversation. Again, communication is key here. Approach her calmly and ask why she's canceling plans repeatedly. Make it clear that this is unacceptable to you and resolve things together. Number 5. She frequently compares you to previous partners. A woman entering a relationship for the first time will never compare you to someone else because you are all she knows. However, if she has had multiple partners in the past, it's likely that she will compare you to her ex-boyfriends at some point voluntarily or involuntarily. How do you know if she compares you to her ex-boyfriends? She might mention that the steak you cooked at home is better than what she used to enjoy with her ex, or talk about how an ex loved a certain activity that you never suggested. During an argument, she might compare your flaws to those of her ex-boyfriend. These comparisons, no matter how subtle, can make you feel insecure. The important thing is that these comparisons are not your fault. A person who has spent time with multiple partners will end up comparing them at some point. You need to let her know that she can't play with you like that. If she regularly compares you to other men, simply end the relationship and make it clear that you are not just another guy. Number 6. She is very secretive about phone use. Your partner's phone suddenly becomes her most precious possession. When she's around you, she makes sure to keep it face down, quickly changes the screen, or becomes extremely secretive when answering calls in your presence. This behavior can be suspicious and make you wonder if she's hiding something. The reasons for keeping her phone away from you can vary. She might still be in contact with some of her ex-boyfriends, or just want to ensure you don't have access to her message history or images from her past. When you ask to see her phone, she might get dramatic, interpreting it as a lack of trust on your part. This can put you in a difficult position where you can't ask about her phone anymore. Before jumping to a conclusion, you should consider that there can always be a different story or logical explanation for this. Everyone deserves some privacy, and some people might simply be very protective of their personal space. Maybe she has work conversations she doesn't want to discuss or values her alone time for browsing. However, if the relationship is strong enough, there will come a time when the couple doesn't need to hide their phones from each other. Give it time to see if she changes over time. Otherwise, you will be fully justified in ending the relationship after confirming her phone activities. Number 7. She is very conscious of her physical appearance. In addition to being secretive with the phone, she can be very conscious of both her own appearance and yours. She can spend significant time grooming herself, constantly checking her reflection, or frequently complimenting others' appearances while taking pride in her own. While caring about appearance is healthy, it can also be a sign that she has been with other attractive men in the past and now believes that focusing on physical appearance is somehow relevant to her sexual history. Being overly focused on her own appearance or others can indicate that she is more interested in what's on the outside than what's on the inside. In extreme cases, she may even compare her physical appearance to that of an ex or any random person she sees on her phone. If instead of talking to you about things that require emotional depth, she spends time comparing herself to others, You have the right to ask why. Even after a serious discussion on this topic, if she doesn't stop these superficial conversations, make it clear that it makes you feel insecure and that she should stop. Otherwise, it would be better to part ways before it's too late to make a decision. Just remember that some people are naturally more image conscious, so even if she acts this way, but her history is very clear to you, it just means it's part of her personality, and she needs to accept who she is. Number 8. She shows a lack of interest in discussing sexual health. Talking about sex can be awkward, but it's an extremely important topic, especially when it comes to sexual health. It's crucial for every couple to discuss this because it ensures both are on the same page regarding safe sexual practices and creates a space for open communication about their sexual desires and needs. What happens if she is never interested in discussing sexual health? This could mean she is hiding something, leaving you wondering what it could be. Her lack of interest in discussing sexual health may be related to her past.